Let's try to do content, you're coming for them. Let's try to do internships, you're coming for them. Let's get employed, let's keep this job, you're coming for them. How are you supporting the economy? How are you supporting the people of Kenya? Please, Mr. President, reject this bill. It is not serving the people of Kenya. The people of Kenya put you in that seat for a reason. And we trusted you. Right now, you're going against your word, and you're not even considering the voice of the people. We hope you hear the people of Kenya crying. They are crying. Please reject this bill when it comes on your desk. Show the people of Kenya that you care about them.
You don't elect someone, tell them, guys, you are the best out of this community, this constituency. Please go represent us. And this person tells you, we are going to represent your cries. Everything you tell me, I'll be coming to the ground. You tell me what you want. When we go to parliament, if you say no, I will say no with you guys. That is why these people, guys, they are not our bosses. We are their bosses. You can't talk down on the people that put you in that power and made you their leader so that you represent them, and you don't represent them. If these people are not representing you guys, like I said, who are they representing? Hi guys, this is Elle and Nick. So I'm Nick, this is Elle. And before we even begin, first of all, we'd like to say we reject the finance bill 2024. Yes, Kenyan finance bill 2024. We reject it in its entirety. Yes, reject, not amend. We know, guys, today is Saturday the 22nd of 2024, so we know the bill has already been read in first reading and second reading. Yeah, right. But we are here to make our voices known that we reject this thing. It is so unbelievable, the kinds of things that are in here. It will literally touch everybody's life, including ourselves. If you guys don't know, we are Kenyans. We currently live in Phoenix, Arizona. Even in the diaspora, this thing will touch our lives. And we don't only care about ourselves and our lives in diaspora. We also care about every single Kenyan. And this thing, honestly, there's never been anything like it before. So we're just here to say we are rejecting the bill in its entirety. If it passes, life is about to get very, very, very expensive for every Kenyan, and we're already struggling. We are here to say we reject the finance bill 2024, and we hope that something can be done. We hope that the president will hear the cries of Kenyans, because we have seen you guys in the streets, and we really, really support everybody that's standing up physically, online, spreading awareness, educating people. We've really learned a lot from the people on social media, educating people about the bill, and we are also reading it ourselves, and we are also reading the expenditure and all the other things that are going with it, and everything is just jaw-dropping. Thank you guys for standing up. Thank you for your voices. Continue to do so. We are also here lending our voices and our platform to say this is not right, and if you're an MP or the president and you have power to reject this bill, please do so for the people of Kenya. Yes. And something else is it touches on every aspect of our lives, be it healthcare, education, banking, money transmission, food, especially food and services. Like, there's no way a bill can be for the people if it's making them miserable. At the end of the day, if this thing is passed and it's implemented, because I think the implementation is July 1st, it's going to be very, very punitive. So guys, there are a lot of things that, to me, I feel like they are very important that we mention, because for instance, when you're touching education, when you're touching agriculture, when you're touching infrastructural development, these are things that are very core to any economy. The bill is also not very easy to read. That's why it's taken time even for us to go through it and also react to it, because we just can't react without really reading it. So we read it and we feel like there are things, for instance, if you're a digital creator like us, the equipment that you're going to use in Kenya is going to be taxed. So the increasing taxes on everything, it's going to be so expensive, even to subscribe to something that you like watching, if already you're paying for it. So there's a tax that is attached to whatever you're paying. For instance, if you're paying for Netflix or you're paying for something that you subscribe to online, any service that is going to give you some benefit. For instance, Canva, if you are a creator and you create thumbnails, some of us even have softwares for editing. Anything that is software related that is going to help you in producing content is going to be taxed, and you're going to pay higher than your neighbors. So first of all, you're at a disadvantage to start with. If the government is saying, oh, we are going to support the digital creators, and yet again you are going behind and introducing these taxes that are going to again make it very hard for these people to have an easy way to produce the content, then are you really with the young people? Are you really with the creators? I don't think you are, honestly.
The way that they're coming for every industry, and let's just take an example, like you were saying, the content creation, they are taxing from all directions. So from the direction of buying your cameras, from the direction of getting your phones, from the direction of microphones, from the direction of your equipment, and then from the direction of those softwares that you need to actually produce the content. And on top of that, taxing the money that you're making from that content that they've already taxed you to be able to produce. It's like coming from all directions, and this is going for all the other industries, even manufacturing, right? They are taxing the raw materials, like they're making the manufacturing so difficult. It's going to become so hard for even the manufacturers to continue manufacturing in Kenya because it becomes very expensive. And if they do, who's going to eat that cost? It's still going to be the common mwananchi, because they have to make up for the high cost of making the goods. So basically what it means is, if you go to buy oil, cooking oil, it's going to be more expensive. If you go to buy anything you need for your household, it's going to become more expensive. And the other thing is, they're still taxing the money that you make from your business, the money that you make from your employment. So you have less money to spend on more expensive things. It's like, it makes no sense. There was a guy that was saying, if they're putting all these taxes, what would have made sense is if they also say, oh, okay, but we're going to provide free education, but we're going to provide free healthcare, but we're going to provide free things, right? So that even if they're taking money from what you're making, that money that you're left with is still enough to pay for the things that are not free. But now everything is being taxed all around, from your salary to everything you need to buy. People are still struggling out here, especially the young people. Like, there's no jobs actually, and even when they're trying to make it with like social media or small businesses, those things are being taxed highly. So where are Kenyans to go? What are Kenyans to do? That's why people are on the streets. And yes, go back on the streets. Me, I'm all about that. We have to make our voices heard.
And there are also other things they're introducing. For instance, wealth tax. If you are owning a car, or if you own a vehicle, for instance, you buy a commercial vehicle, like, everything is going to be expensive. If you think this thing is going to only affect maybe only the poor, everyone. So they introduced a 2.5% tax on the value of the vehicle, and they said the minimum is to a minimum amount of 5,000 per annum, but the cap is 100,000. Can you imagine? Already you are paying a lot of money, and your insurance will be forcing you to pay extra money. And if that insurance company, which is already struggling, does not take that money from you, they are going to pay 50% of the amount that you are supposed to pay. So it will be very tough, like, with the moment you take your insurance, and this is going to cause a lot of people to like trying to circumvent the system, not having insurance and everything. The insurer is trying to protect themselves to survive in the business, because the government already has told them, if you don't collect this money, we are coming for your business. And then the person again needs insurance, because if you don't have insurance, if the police are with you on the streets. For instance, I had a car and I was paying 25,000. Now I'm paying 38,000, and now they add again another 5%, 2.5% of the value of my car. Let's say your car is $1 million. How much more are you adding? 25k? Is that 25,000?
That's 2.5% of $1 million. How much is that? That's 25,000.
Yeah. So you're paying annually, you're going to pay an extra 25,000 on top of the insurance that you are paying to the value of your car. So guys, if you think this thing is going to help anyone,
it's not.
It's only going to help whoever we've lended from and the government.
The government is really
the people, my friend, we are alone. And the thing is, we elected these people. You elected these people, and you have the power to remove them. Their mandate is to represent you. You say no. They say yes.
It's very clear.
It doesn't make sense. And this is going to, because even for us, we are going to be sending money back to our parents. And if you're introducing a 16%, so I'm sending, for instance, I'm sending money. Can you remind me how you said? So you're sending 100 bob.
16%. I think already there is, if you send money, you already pay some money, like for that transaction, right? So right now, if you send money, for every $100 you send your mother, she's only going to get $84 of that.
And remember, they're increasing that. So the transfer, for instance, I'm sending from SendWave directly to my parents. They're going to tax it, right? 16%. But if, for instance, for us to keep our numbers, because we're in diaspora, sometimes you have to send it to your phone so that there's a transaction, like it seems like the phone is active. So sometimes you can send it, or maybe there are bills that are attached to my line, for instance, and I have to pay for my parents, or I'm sending it to my parents. I prefer to do that because maybe I'm trying to make sure that my number is not disconnected from Safaricom or whichever mobile company it is. Now, for me to, they're again upping that fee. So within
Safaricom
mobile transfers, Safaricom to Safaricom, they're upping it from 15% to 20%. So first of all, I'm taxed for it reaching my phone because they think now it's coming into the country. And then when you're sending it again, there's a 20%, like double taxation on anyone who's sending money home.
Because this money that you're already sending has already been taxed where you are. We pay our taxes here in America, so the money that we're sending has already been taxed. So now we're sending it and it's being taxed again. That's double taxation. And we know that the remittances that come from abroad has been supporting the economy. There is no debate about that. It's one of the biggest incomes that the country gets. Now they're saying this is another place we can get more money from, and they are going to 16%. Guys, do you know how much that is? For every 100 shillings, 16 shillings goes to the government. That is a lot of money. That's a lot of money, because we send billions and billions every year.
And something else, so let's say you are in the banking industry. Previously was working in a bank, and now the core capital for commercial banks, it used to be 1 billion. So the amount of money that the government is keeping, just in case something happens to the bank and you guys are like, oh, we are losing our money, what they can use to pay you back in case the bank collapses or something. So the core capital is going to be increased from 1 billion to 10 billion. So there are banks which will just start disappearing, because even keeping that money, this is money that cannot be touched by the bank. It is just like a hold. Just in case something happens, this money is going to be used to clear whatever it is, so that the people do not suffer, so it doesn't disrupt the economy. So they're increasing it from 1 to 10 billion. And again,
so what about the small banks that don't have 10 billion?
So it's not going to be increased immediately. It's going to be gradual. And they said this period, the time that is going to take between the 1 and the 10 billion is going to be determined in future. They're going to have a meeting or something, and they'll determine like how much this is going to be done, like when this will be done, I mean.
Oh my God.
So if you think this thing is going not to touch on you, you're very mistaken. We could have gone through like in depth and tell you the numbers, but I know people have access to this information, so please go and read it. If I could go through the whole thing, I was just going through it, I'm like, this is crazy. If I was to talk about the numbers are crazy. So just go to PwC. I don't know what this document is called. It's called Budget Bulletin 2024-2025. Just write Budget Bulletin 2024-2025 PwC. Yeah, we'll put the link for you, but remember, you have to put your email, your name, and you can say I have this business, blah blah blah. There are things you do, then it allows you now to download. So please go download for yourself and please go through it. It's very easy to understand things that don't make sense. So something I wanted to mention is this finance bill 2024, they write it's projected to collect an additional 346 billion. This is money that they don't have right now. For this 2024-2025, we are going to be borrowing, like foreign borrowing is going to be 334 billion and domestic borrowing is going to be 263 billion. So let's go for the foreign borrowing, 334 billion. So that will be able to help with the whole year. So fiscal year 2024-2025, And the projected amount that this bill is going to collect, so now from the people, is 346 billion. So we are going to collect an additional 346 billion. So all these new things that they've added as compared to the previous budget, they're going to add an additional 346 billion from your pockets, from the Kenyans who don't have jobs. The more I was reading this thing, I was like, there's no way the government is going to talk about, oh, we have removed the tax on pads, we've removed the tax on bread,
don't even get me
we've
started.
removed the tax on cooking fat. So they're talking about things that if you hear, you know, oh, this, I have cooking fat, I have bread too in the morning, and I have pads. And those are the things that they feel people are making noise about. Guys, yes, make noise about them. If they are changed, I hope they will, because I don't know, you know, some of these things they can say we change them, but then you find them, they've been passed. So please, there are other things that are far worse than even those ones in this bill. So yes, it's good they've removed them, but again, please do not say, oh, we amended and now it's good. No, this thing is bad in its entirety. Because if we started talking about the health sector that for instance cancer has been given the least allocation. If you thought that now in this bill maybe we'll start building more cancer centers, and in case people are sick, and cancer is very expensive to treat, and the government is not giving it attention, guys, you have to think about this. Is it thinking about the people? No. Same to education. They've reduced the amount in education. Like, we have the population in Kenya is growing.
You're talking about the expenditure now, like what they're going to use the money for,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Because guys, there's two parts to this. There is how much are they taxing, right, for different things, right? And who's going to be affected, which is everybody. And then where is this money going, right? So in the expenditure, they say, oh, some of it is going to education, some of it is going to cancer treatment, some of it is going to manufacturing, whatever. If you check on the list of like how they've allocated that, they are taxing cancer treatment, which is very expensive. So if you get, even if you get like a 1% tax or however much, it's still a big chunk of money. They are getting so much money from that, but they are only allocating 1.1 billion for construction and strengthening of cancer centers. That is the second bottom last. The least one actually is 861 million, which is medical cover for the elderly and severely disabled in our society. Guys, can you believe that?
So the elderly, all of us are going to be elderly at some point, but these are our parents and our grandparents.
Our parents right now.
So the cover for our parents and the grandparents have been reduced. So if you thought this is not touching you in any way, it's going to touch you. So the severely disabled. So this is someone who has either sickness that has made them not be able to perform their duties as any other human can, or you are in an accident, so you're severely disabled in our society. I don't know what percentage that is, but when you see the people who need it most, they're the ones who are being allocated the least amount. It makes you ask the question, why? It's good there's a good fund on HIV, malaria and TB, which actually affects a big population, which is 28.7 billion. But why are you assuming people who have cancer and the elderly and those who are disabled? Like, what is this bill about? Who made this bill? Please, we don't want to go into nitty-gritties because you guys can read. We are going to put the link in description. Please just put in your email, put in your name. I think it requested me to put like a company name. Just put anything and then just click download. You will see what we are talking about. And if someone else is asking you questions and trying to oppose what you're saying, just send them this document. Let them read for themselves, because this is very well articulated, very well explained, and we would have gone through it like we are saying, but it's too long. So please reject the bill in its entirety. That is to all MPs. You are elected so that you represent the people. The people are saying no.
I think I don't know if maybe in their third reading they get an option to vote for it, or what happens?
So right now, I think it went to now the committee stage to put all those changes that they wanted.
Yeah, the amendments.
Yeah, all the amendments, and then it's going to go for its final reading. So after the final reading, it's going to the president for assent, and once it's signed, that's it. The more people come out to the streets and the people make their voice heard, trust me, something will happen. Trust me, something will happen.
Yeah.
And they will know their days are numbered, because you don't elect someone, tell them, guys, you are the best out of this community, this constituency. Please go represent us. And this person tells you, we are going to represent your cries. Everything you tell me, I'll be coming to the ground. You tell me what you want. When you go to parliament, if you say no, I will say no with you guys. That is why these people, guys, they are not our bosses. We are their bosses.
I think they get it wrong. They think they work for the government, but they work for the people.
Yes.
And that's who they are there to represent. It's so disappointing. It's so disappointing.
It is.
That 205 MPs voted yes, and there were several women in there. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, like some of the things we see on social media, and I hope all leaders are educated. The things they say is really a pain. Like what they say, the way they make, you can't talk down on the people that put you in that power and made you their leader so that you represent them, and you don't represent them. If these people are not representing you guys, like I said, who are they representing? They're representing their own interests,
themselves,
and they're representing the government. And there's something behind I just feel like there's something behind it. Like all these things, the way they're happening, there's something behind it. Like why is everything like, there's no way someone would sit down and just put things that are going to go against the people. Like the people are going to suffer when this thing becomes law. All of us, including those of us who are in the diaspora,
including our children.
Yes.
So this is for you, your parents, the future, your kids, your children. I don't think the freedom fighters fought for us so that now we can be oppressed by fellow Kenyans. It makes no sense, honestly, and we have to stand up and say enough is enough, because I think it's just become a trend. Oh, we just throw this at the Kenyan people and they say nothing, they just take it lying down. No, this is not the generation to do that with, because we know our rights, we are educated, we can read, we can see what is happening on the ground. We heard the promises and now we are here to see the lies. People are working so hard for any money that they're getting, because the government does not support people. Like even the way that they're trying to support people is sending people outside instead of giving jobs to people that are educated and ready to work. Because let me tell you guys, even if we're here in America, we miss home so much. If there was a way I knew that I could make the same amount of money that I do here and I live in Kenya, I would do that. That would be the dream, right? So why don't you make that dream a reality for people? Let the educated people stay in Kenya, because what happens when the people are now looking for opportunities elsewhere, which is what has been happening for years now, and nobody can blame us. Like, we need to make a living for ourselves, we need to secure our future. So if you find a better opportunity elsewhere, you just go, and that has become the norm. But what that means is we are losing a lot of human capital. Now we don't have nurses in Kenya. Like, every good nurse is being picked, and these countries like the US, they only want to pick the best. They want to make sure you're educated, they want to make sure you have experience, and then they pluck you. Now you've been plucked from Kenya and you come in America, you're growing America's economy. The amount of taxes they tax us here is also ridiculous, but like, at least you can see where the money is going. So it's a lot of money, and you're here, you're growing for your whole career. When they take you, you're very young, you live your whole entire career in America. You've really driven the economy of America or elsewhere, wherever you are. It would be amazing if the job situation in Kenya was amazing, that people were graduating and getting jobs and now becoming part of the economy in Kenya, and giving those people jobs makes them feel like, oh, we can stay here, life is bearable. Right now people are scrambling, they're like, what can we do let's try to do business, you're coming for them. Let's try to do content, you're coming for them. Let's try to do internships, you're coming for them. Let's get employed, let's keep this job, you're coming for them. How are you supporting the people of Kenya? Please, Mr. President, reject this bill. It is not serving the people of Kenya. The people of Kenya put you in that seat for a reason, and we trusted you. Right now, you're going against your word, and you're not even considering the voice of the people. We hope you hear the people of Kenya crying. They are crying. Please reject this bill when it comes on your desk. Show the people of Kenya that you care about them. We're saying no to that.
Reject
Kenya Finance Bill 2024. Thank you, guys.